All right, I want to thank you for tuning in the channel. The other day, I stopped in at the Ford dealership. Now, most of y'all know I ordered a 23 back when in October 22 when the order banks opened. That truck never got a VIN, never got scheduled, so we went ahead and ordered a 24 limited diesel, and you know, let's see what happens. Hopefully, Ford, if you're watching this, please get me in the scheduling bank. But anyway, in the meantime, they had just taken a dealer trade on a F-250 Trimmer, carbonized gray with the black appearance package, but it had the 7.3 gas in it. I had done zero research on the 7.3 gas. You know, I had a 22 Ford Platinum, and you know, going into 24, that truck was going to be 2 years old. It was starting to get close to 36, so it's going to be out of warranty. So I just decided, you know, hey, just put me in this Trimmer gas. I'm going to drive it. I'm going to do some videos on it for y'all. Let's take a look at it. Let's see how it pulls, all those good things, right? And so pretty much did an even deal with them and swapped them out. And man, I absolutely love this truck. The 23 does ride a little better. The radius arms on the front do have a little clearance for larger tires. But overall, the electronics, the technology, everything in this truck and the drive on it, it seems that it is better than the previous model. I really like my previous model truck, no problems with it at all. But moving into this 23 with the heads-up display, this is a Lariat Ultimate, so it does have a little bit more of the features. Now to get to the video, what we're gonna do today is, I don't know how this thing pulls. I haven't done any research, haven't hooked it on the trailer, anything. So we're gonna back it up to my RV, and of course, I've got a 43.5, 44-foot toy hauler. So I wanna see how this 7.3 handles a real trailer, a big camper, and you know, with the F-250 Trimmer package, you actually get the 1-ton rear axle and you get the overloads. So you basically have the same suspension that you get on the 1-ton when you have a 250. And so also having the gas engine gives you a lot more payload because the truck is a lot lighter versus having the diesel. So just things to think about, you know, and you know, if you buy this truck, you're gonna save $12,000 to $15,000 by getting the 7.3. And you're seeing a lot of people, you know, with all the emission stuff and the DEF, and they're just like, hey, I'm just gonna buy the 7.3. You know, I can tell you on the daily, it's not gonna get the mileage that the diesel gets, but you're also saving a lot of money. So, you know, you gotta kind of weigh that, and then how much are you gonna pull. Can't give you any insight on how it pulls till we get backed up and get hooked up. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's hook the trailer up, and let's get this thing on the highway and see what it does. Okay, so we've got our camper ready back there. Got it at the right height to get all this hooked up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go there. And we need to go to our hitch up. Check our height. Yep, we're good. Right there. Okay, now in my truck, I've got the airbag and the Reese Goose Box Generation 3. And so what we've got to do is there's a little line that you line up in there. So we come over here, and we've got a little gauge here. Start airing that up. And you'll see that bed clearance start to rise. Okay, you can see it's a little low. Let a little bit out. Okay, now my trailer, I've got two hookups. This is for the Ford camera system and the trailer TPMS. And that one goes on the bottom here. Plug that in. And get the lights plugged in. Everything else is hooked up. Let's get in the truck. Okay, with the new system, as soon as you hook the trailer up, it's going to ask you to select a trailer because we already have it set up in here. It has my height and weight and all that for navigation also. So we select that. Okay, it says I don't have the blind spot system on the trailer, but I do have the TPMS. So those should pop up when we start rolling, but it's got my gain and all my information saved. And then if you look here, if we go to the camera system, and you click right here, it should be this one. There it is. You can see the back door in my shop. You can see both tail lights and park. You can actually do a blinker check, which I usually do against the door. I can see that everything works back there. And a running light check. You can see that works. The top lights are on and the two bottom lights. All right, so we're good to roll. And then you can also see on the new truck when you get the trailer hooked up, it's got the little trailer under the fuel gauge. Okay, just wanted to show y'all, we've got about a 44-foot camper here. It's a toy hauler. It is a heavier camper. Let's see what this 7.3 does on the highway. I'm interested to see if it'll hold 10th gear or if it's gonna downshift, you know, what gear is it gonna stay in at highway speeds. And we probably won't look too much at the fuel mileage because you didn't buy this one for the fuel mileage. Okay, y'all, so you can see we've got right at 1,000 miles on the truck. We wanted to get, you know, break-in mileage. You can also see that my tire pressures came up, which is perfect. Love that Ford technology just plugs in from one truck to the next. I'm pretty impressed so far. My first impression is, I mean, I've got this thing maybe at quarter throttle, and I mean, it's just kind of going through the gears. You know, it's not quite a diesel, but you know, I expected this thing to be wrapping out at 5,500 RPM at every gear and shifting. You know, it does have some torque to it, which is nice. And that 10-speed seems to be pulling really well. Now this truck is the trimmer, and it does have the 7.3 gas. And because it's a trimmer, it has the 430 rear ratio axle, so that does help significantly too. I'm not sure what the non-trimmers have, but let's see here. Let's try to get it up to about 72. But I do feel like I do have plenty of power on tap. You know, like I said, I'm only about quarter throttle right now. And for the truck being completely stock, nothing done to it. You know, it's not quite the diesel. It's not gonna, you know, hold 10th gear and pull over these hills for sure. But will it do the job? And the question of saving you know what, $13,000 to $15,000 on a truck, and then having cheaper oil changes, lower maintenance costs, you know, those things, you can take all that into account. You're going to burn a little more fuel, but how much do you pull, you know? And I think that's a lot of the questions you have to ask yourself on whether the 7.3, we've got a pretty good hill here. Let's see if I can keep it at 70. I do have it to the floor. Oh yeah, we still caught a little bit of acceleration going up the hill, so. Again, it's not the powerhouse of a diesel. Will it do the job? It looks like, you know, from what I can tell, I would say yes. You know, I think if you're pulling a 10,000, 12,000 pound trailer, I would say that this truck is way more than you need. You know, you get more up in these 18 to 20,000 pound toy haulers, you know, you might want to go ahead and look at a diesel, but you know, for your everyday driving, and my opinion of the everyday driving in this truck is great. It's got plenty of power. It feels good. I think the 10 speeds definitely have helped these gas engines significantly. But overall, it's handling really well. We're rolling down the road. Like I said, we're in 8th gear. I think it would hold this pretty much at a cruise speed. Let's set the cruise control real quick. 72. We're on pretty flat ground. I think that's pretty much going to be your cruise speed. 2,500 RPM, 8th gear, 71 to 72 miles an hour. And then let's scroll up, see if we can look at our temperatures real quick. Let's watch our temps and see what those look like. And just caught 6th gear, so we dropped 2. So transmission's at 221. It's about 85 degrees outside here in South Texas this morning. So we're holding about 3,000 RPMs in 7th at 72 miles an hour right now. For those of you who just want to see the fuel mileage pulling, you know, of course your diesel is going to get somewhere between 8 to 10 pulling a camper this size. Let's go ahead and reset this average real quick. We are on pretty flat ground. That's what I was figuring, somewhere around 5. Probably what you're going to get pulling 72 miles an hour with the big camper. But you know, that's going to significantly change, so let's drop the speed a little bit. Let's drop it down to 65. And let's see what our cruise speed and our mileage looks like there. Like we're somewhere around 8th gear, about 2,300 RPM, about 64 miles an hour. We just hit 1,000 miles. Looks like your fuel mileage is going to be about 5.6 to 5.7 at 65, somewhere in that area. Back and look at our temps. Trans temp is down to 210, so it's actually cooled down some. Alright, so just did a 40-mile trip on the truck, and just remember, this truck has 430s because it's a trimmer and it has the 35-inch tires, okay? My recommendations and my opinion on this whole deal is I definitely wouldn't put 37s on the truck or some real heavy tires, you know, if you're going to pull this large of a camper. I feel like this large of a camper is pretty much what it's going to do, you know, and having a little window above that for power, braking, all of those things, right? You know, I've ran 37s on all my trucks, but I would really consider, if I had the 7.3 gas, if I was going to have a camper that was over 10,000 pounds, you know, I would say under 10,000 pounds, sure. You know, I feel like there's plenty of power in the motor, plenty of torque, and I feel like that the truck pulls itself good, and you wouldn't have the day-to-day issues. You know, is it going to eat you up on mileage a little bit with 37s? Probably. But, you know, if you were going to lift and modify this truck and pull this size camper, I would probably say no, okay? Now, this truck is temporary for me, and I did want to get this 7.3 gas to try it out just to kind of see how it does. And, you know, I put a 23 order in last year that got canceled, that never got built. And so I've got a 24 limited diesel high output order in this year. Hopefully that one gets built. But meanwhile, I'm going to drive this truck until then. And I'm telling you, this truck is a Cadillac. It's nice. It's a Lariat Ultimate. It's a trimmer package. And, you know, to drive a truck as is, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I mean, I'm not even planning on putting a level kit on it or anything. So anyway, just kind of my opinion on the whole deal. You know, save the money, get the gas. Depends on your situation, how many trips you go on, what you tow, all that. You know, if you're towing a boat on the weekends or something small, you know, these trucks are amazing. I think there's a place for them For me, it's diesel 100%. I'm just always gonna have a diesel. So anyway, just wanted to give you my opinion on it. Again, thanks for watching. Please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, and we'll keep this content coming. Thanks.